Go. Powered by Riverside.
We
I'm
back.
back, man. Break out the fucking bleep button.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ant and CJ show. This is episode 2. We are moving, grooving. Hope y'all checked out episode 1. If you have not, go back and take a listen to that. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. We are expanding. So go ahead and take a look at that. Listen to it. Check out the video. See our beautiful dashing faces on that video if you want to. And as CJ said, let's break out that bleep button because we really try to keep it clean and censored for this first episode that we pushed out, kind of get people an idea of where we were going. But fuck that. Let's just do us and do what we've been doing, how we've been doing this for years, and just let's talk our shit. CJ, kick it off, man. You got some shit to share.
What's good, bro? I've had a little weird encounter with life myself. Yesterday, I went to go and get an MRI, and that shit was fucking terrifying,
Why is that?
bro. It's like being in a casket. Like you're just laying there, and the machine's going, and you hear all this noise like outside, and it's like this whirring and engines turning and all of this stuff. But you're just laying there in the dark, staring in front of you, and you're just stuck there. You can't breathe, you can't move. It's like being in a casket. It freaked me the hell out.
How
I
long you
hit
were
the
in there for?
emergency button and told that lady to get me the hell out of there. I was in there.
I mean, if I know, I'm in the health field, right? So if you suffer with claustrophobia and shit like that, there is something called stand-up MRI where you don't have to lay down and go into that shit. Like there's a different MRI machine that you're able to just stand up and actually get your scan.
Yeah, see, and that's what I need. I asked the lady, like, yo, can I lay on my stomach and do the MRI? Because I'm fat, right? So I'm in the MRI, but like the top of the MRI is like pushing down into my stomach, so I can't breathe. I'm in there dying, like I'm gasping for air. She's like, all right, just 20 more minutes, and I'm like, Miss, I don't have 20 more minutes to give you. I'm dying in here. So I'm like, all right, let's see what happens.
That's just too much. I mean, I had an MRI once on my ankle, and I remember they had me like laying down in this weird ass position where like one leg bent, and like they put these headphones on me and they were like, oh, choose your music so it can soothe you for the next 15 to 30 minutes while we scan your ankle and all this shit. And I just remember just hearing the freaking sound of like, it sounds like gunshots, the freaking machine. And you're just like moving in and out closer and closer to these damn sounds. And yeah, if it trips you out, it does mess with you. But like I said, check out that stand up MRI situation if that's something that you really needs to get done.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, they done made Doja Cat run away from social media.
No, what happened here?
Oh, all the fans was calling her a bald headed bitch and was laughing, calling her ugly and telling her she don't look good no more and that she worships Satan, and it done hurt poor Doja Cat feelings, and she done ran away from Instagram.
Damn. I mean, Doja has taken a turn for the worse.
I love Doja
Last couple years.
Cat.
I mean,
I love Doja Cat. They be doing my girl so wrong.
Doja a couple years ago to what she is now, or how she looks at least, it's not the same Doja.
I mean, yeah, she cut her hair, she lost a little bit of weight. She still look good though. She still look good. I'm a fan. I'm a
Fan of
fan.
her or of what she puts out?
I like the music too. I think the
Okay.
music. I think she got like a real artistry thing going on. I think it's weird that she's doing the artist thing of steering into the "I worship Satan" skid.
Okay.
But a lot of artists before her have done that too. I mean, there was a time where Lady Gaga was steering into the "I worship Satan" skid. Beyonce had her moment. Jay-Z, he was putting songs in the putting lyrics in the songs. I said I was amazing, not that I'm a Mason. Like artists do that. When it comes out, oh, this artist sold their soul, they worship the devil. They'll use that for publicity. They use it for views. I'm gonna sell some tickets off this. Y'all think I worship Satan? Cool. I'm gonna really give y'all something to talk about. And so a lot of artists have done it before. She's just the latest one. Do I actually think she worships Satan? I don't care if she worships Satan. The music is fire and she has a nice butt. So that's all that really matters.
There's a lot of controversy coming out now surrounding the Bad Bunny tour and things of that nature. Because one, there was controversy at the very beginning with the ticket prices, and people were complaining at how astronomically high the prices were to go see him in concert. But apparently, there's a section of his concert which I haven't witnessed yet because I'm going to the New York show, which is in a couple weeks. But there's a section of his concert in which he basically has people with like skeleton faces and like robes and hoods on, and it's just like all red, the lights and everything. And a lot of people were saying that they felt uncomfortable during that part, that they can definitely feel like there was some demonic presence during that set, and they said that they were using that for their bathroom break and things of that nature. So there's a lot of controversy coming out now in regards to that. And you can, if in my personal opinion, you can see that he went from being such a humble artist to now being so full of himself, which understandable. It comes with the fame, right? It comes as your level of fame grows, shit happens. But you claim to be an artist for the people and for your fans and all of this shit, and then you're selling tickets for the nosebleed sections up for $500 a piece. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
The business side of things is I'm gonna sell my lowest quality stuff for as much as I can get for money. That's the economy. I didn't do that. If people are gonna buy these nosebleed seat tickets for $500, why shouldn't I sell them for $500? Just the artist. I don't control the ticket prices. You got to talk
Yeah.
to the venue. You got to talk to management. You got to talk to Ticketmaster. Like you got to go talk to some. I am here to be on stage and perform the music. That's what I do. I don't set ticket prices. You want to complain about ticket price, or just don't buy the tickets. If you can't afford $500 tickets, take your broke ass home. What you doing here?
So I think one of the controversies that came out is that aside from the ticket prices, right? Ticketmaster is doing this whole. They're kind of doing surge pricing to an extent, but it's more of like demand all-in pricing. So what they're doing is they're including the ticket fees and all these taxes and all this extra shit into the ticket prices. So I think he was the first artist that really utilized that function in his tour. So what the price you were seeing is the price you were getting. So essentially, how when you go to you're trying to get a ticket for a show or whatever, and it's like this section is like $150, and then you go check out, and then it's like service fee of like $25 per ticket, taxes of $8 per ticket, all this extra shit. So apparently he was the first artist that was actually utilizing this function where it's like the ticket price that was being listed when you were looking for your ticket is the actual price you were getting, because it already had included the service fees. It included the taxes. It included all this extra shit. And Ticketmaster obviously raised the prices a little bit extra because demand was so high, especially in big markets like New York. Like we're looking at, he wasn't performing in Madison. He's performing in Barclays Center this time around. And that's the only venue he's performing at. And we're looking at, I think it was like $350, $380 for like the nosebleed sections up there. And those were basically like the only ones that were available at the end of the day, because people were paying $1,500 just to stand on the floor level, which is like freaking ridiculous to me. But I mean, I'm going to the show in a couple weeks. My broke ass is not broke enough to not say that I'm not going, but I got my tickets. I will be checking it out. I'll see what's going on with that, and I'll come back with my full review on how he really did.
Seeing that show is going to be amazing because Bad Bunny puts on a show. He's the biggest artist in the world right now. If his tickets are not supposed to be expensive, then whose tickets are supposed to be expensive?
100%.
Like this is
100%.
he's not a national artist. I can go anywhere in the world and I can sell out and I can sell these $350 standing room tickets up in the nosebleeds. He Bad Bunny. What am I supposed to do? It might be bad business, but I'm not a businessman. I'm an artist. I'm out here to make slaps and perform them.
Yeah,
Anything
100%.
outside of that, go talk to Paco in the West Wing. That's his job.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a similar situation if I was an artist, right? Like, my music days are probably behind me, and I really probably didn't put my shit out mainstream, but I was doing it more for myself. But if I were at the level that Bad Bunny is currently at, I think I would be doing a similar situation, right? I know that the demand is there, so people are gonna shell out money regardless of what it is to go see you. And I think that if the demand is definitely there, then you got to meet that demand somehow, some way, price
Hell yeah.
wise.
And I
So,
definitely think that you got one solid album still in your future if you decided you wanted to do music.
I was thinking about it, man. I was really thinking about it, but I sit down and I listen to like instrumentals and shit like this, and it's just like, what there's nothing that has really motivated me to be like, yo, this shit sounds so good, I'm gonna write to it. I think I just have to find that one instrumental. I think I have a couple. I think I got a couple songs still left in the tank if I sit down and I actually start putting that pen to the paper like I used to do. And I think I could probably really push it a little bit harder. But I need to find that. I need to find that instrumental that's really gonna just bring me back into it.
All you need is one.
Uh,
Jay
I,
Holiday been running around performing the same two songs since 2004.
oh man,
All you need is one.
he's still putting people to bed.
Yeah, and suffocating them. That's the only thing he knows. That's the only thing he's been doing. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's see, right? I mean, if there's any producers out there listening to this podcast that want to send out some beats and some shit, send them out. I know CJ got a pen behind himself too, and he can definitely put some pen to paper. He got a couple bars in him.
Look, if Ice Spice can get a record deal with her fro, I can go get a record deal with mine.
I mean,
I
if she could
mean,
get a record deal putting out shit saying you think you the shit, you're not even a fart. Like, come on, bro.
I mean, she has a better body than mine is, but we got about the same size titties. So I could throw something nice on, and I can get a little fan base. I can get a little core. You know, rap about farts too. She's not the only one. Shout out to Ice Spice though. I mean, if you could get that off and really have people outside rapping about farts and shits, then you got to be doing something right. So shout out to Ice Spice.
Shout out to Ice Spice. I know you wanted to touch on Beyonce, so what's going on in Beyonce's world?
Oh,
I know she's dropping some country shit. Like, what the hell's going on, bro?
that country album is coming at the end of the month, and people are furious.
Really? Why?
The country community is pissed off. Country music stations are saying they are not playing Beyonce songs because Beyonce is not a country music artist. I heard the songs. I heard Texas Hold'em. It sounds like country music to me. Of course, I am not the expert. I'm from New York City, so country is not really my background. Country is
Mm-hmm.
not really in my bag, but it sounds like country music to me. It sounds like it got the basics. It has the sound.
Okay.
But the purists are in backlash. They're saying we are not playing Beyonce's country music. We don't support it. It might be a race thing a little bit,
I mean, do you really think so though? In this day and age?
I mean, it's really hard to tell. And I say this because living in the South now, you drive around and you still see a lot of Confederate flags on the pickup truck. And a lot of people in the South will say, well, the Confederate flag is not about racism, it's about Southern pride. No, the Confederate flag is about racism. Like, that was the whole point. So I think think it's kind of a similar argument. Like the purists will say, well, no, we just don't like it because this is not really country music. This is country music mixed with some other stuff. But that's just music now. And it leads to the question of, if it was anybody else, if it was any other artist, would there be this much backlash against it? Justin Timberlake went and did his little Man in the Woods shit, and nobody said anything, and that album was ass. So it's like, is it really just we're trying to keep country music pure, or is it we trying to keep country music pure from you know what I mean?
100%. But yeah, Justin Timberlake's Timberlake album was freaking straight ass.
That Man in the Woods album was fucking dookie.
But I think we got to tread lightly when you touch the Beyonce topic, because the one issue with Beyonce is that beehive goes crazy. Do I think she should be putting out a country album? Personally, no. I think she has created a name for herself doing the music that she's been doing. But, I mean, if she's trying to compete with the likes of Taylor Swift and shit, even though Taylor Swift has shifted from a country artist to more of a pop artist as of late, let's see how this shit goes. I mean, how's it going to sound? I heard the Texas Hold'em song. I mean, I can't get into it personally, but then again, and forgive me, everyone, I respect Beyonce as an artist. I'm not a fan. I just can't literally say that I would be camping out for tickets or like trying to get tickets to her next show. Listen, she has classics. She has hits under her belt. We were all bopping to Dangerous in Love and Irreplaceable and all this shit during our time, but I mean, I don't know. I can't get into Beyonce. There's just, for me, it just doesn't do it music wise. But again, my personal opinion, a lot of people like Beyonce. A lot of people love Beyonce. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of her type of music, but that's just me. I mean, you never know, that could change. She might put out a song that I'm like, oh, this song is actually dope. Listen to her album and I'm like into it.
You pussy. You so fucking scared of the beehive. You sitting there. You saying that's in trembling.
Listen, I'm not trying to get canceled before we even really take off, man. We're on episode 2 and you want to get canceled by Beehive already? Come on.
Reality of the situation is Beyonce don't make music for us. That's really what it is. I'm a Beyonce fan. I love Beyonce. I wish her nothing but the best. I hope country music album is great. I don't expect to hear anything on there for me. Even listening to Texas Hold'em, that's not for me. Beyonce, she got her core fans, and they will follow her to death. But she just don't make music for us anymore. She don't make music for men. She doesn't make music for people outside of that core listening base. That country music album is going to be an experiment, and I'm looking forward to hearing it because most artists make the reverse transition. Most artists come from country and go into pop or R&B or something else. Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, even when he first came out singing, he was doing country music songs and more acoustic guitar stuff. And you go pop. I mean, that's just what happens because that's how you widen your fan base and you start making more money and you start appealing to different crowds. But Beyonce has done all of that. Beyonce has R&B albums, pure R&B albums. She was in a music group. She's been a pop star. The last couple of years, it's been dance and electronic music. She got some funk stuff in the catalog. Like Beyonce has touched all genres, and country music is really country and rock are the only things that's left. And I think that part 3 of their renaissance is gonna be a rock album. I think that's what's coming next. So I'm looking forward to hearing from it. I just think it's interesting that the radio stations don't want to play it already, and it hasn't even come out yet. and I'm interested in seeing how it is that the Grammys is going to react to this, because you know that they have a history of not calling country music by non-stereotypical country artists, um, categorizing it correctly and putting them in the right spaces. Lil
Yeah,
Nas
yeah,
X came out with Old Town Road. They called it hip hop when that's not hip hop. That is a country music song. And it wasn't until he went and got Billy Ray Cyrus to hop on the remix that they were willing to call it a country music song. Um, you just got to go to certain lengths to get things classified the right way.
yeah.
So
I mean, shout out to Beyonce fans and shout out to Beyonce and everything she does. Great for her. But let's kind of shift topics for a second. Staying kind of on the Beyonce topic, but Kelly Rowland's in a new movie, at least a recent movie.
oh God,
Mea Culpa. I'm
oh
sure
God.
half our fan base and half our listeners have actually checked this movie out on Netflix. I watched it. I wanted to pull my eyes out of my socket after watching this bullshit piece of trash movie that I wasted almost 2 hours of my life watching.
Kelly Rowland, I never thought I would see the day where anything could make me hate Kelly Rowland. Like I've just always been a fan. She is fantastic. And Tyler Perry, you've done it again. Here you are taking something else and just ruining it. Just I can't stand Tyler Perry. Mia Culpa
you
was
know,
fucking terrible.
listen, you know what I hated about the movie? That you can tell that money went into the production because the movie looked visually amazing. The acting was horrible.
Terrible. Some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
The whole freaking movie premise was terrible. And once again, Tyler Perry does what he does best and makes a movie in which they victimize the female and then she goes ahead and just falls into any stereotype that you can think of.
Tyler
And
Perry, my biggest problem with Tyler Perry is that Tyler Perry, in his attempt to hire black actors and actresses and employ black actors and actresses and write scripts and movies based around the fact that these actors and actresses are black people, he is exploiting the black community and our trauma for a paycheck. And that's why I don't fuck with Tyler Perry. There are a lot of things, a common phrase, what happens under this roof stays under this roof. And he has taken everything that black people have yet to heal from, that black people go through, has exaggerated it for Hollywood, and that has made millions of dollars off of it. And I just don't think that that's a respectable thing that it is that he's doing. I understand he's trying to get work for black actors, but that's not the way.
you
Um,
know, I think that at the very beginning, when Tyler Perry first put out his first movie, everybody, I mean, it was a good movie, right? Diary of a Mad Black Woman was a great movie. I think that he was going in the right direction with what he was trying to do, right? So he was showing an abused, battered woman who was going through all this emotional abuse, physical abuse, and everything, and then eventually took a stand for herself and put her foot down and basically defended herself as one would hope, as one would expect. But now I just feel like he, in every movie that he's putting out going forward, is just exploiting every stereotype you can think of for either the black community or the Hispanic community, because we don't fall too far from the tree.
or the white community, because look at Mia Culpa.
Or the white community, right?
The evil head at the top of their secret plan is their white mom. Like, I think it
Yeah.
was a very, very weird choice to have her be the only white character in the movie. And I think
Yeah.
it was intentional, and I think it sends a message.
Yeah. And it was, I think that, he's just exploiting every stereotype, but doing it the wrong way. He's painting a negative picture of all this BS for entertainment purposes. And it's like, so he can collect the paycheck at the end of the day. That's really all it is. And we're the fucked up ones because we continue to watch this shit and give him streams. What Tyler Perry is really doing is just like, in my perspective, he's bringing down Black women, and like you said, he's exploiting everything that any person has ever dealt with in terms of a trauma. He's exploiting it on a main stage in a production, and it's ridiculous.
And see, and that's not where it started. When Tyler Perry was doing his plays before Diary of a Mad Black Woman hit movie theaters, he had done it um, on stage. And when he was still doing stage shows and was selling DVDs, that's when it was the black community. We rallied behind him. We were buying all the DVDs because he was doing something that we hadn't really seen at that point. Like, he was kind of funding his own shows and was doing these plays where I'm not a religious person, but um, it's these plays where it was real people that were going through these struggles, and once they found God and the community that comes with finding religion, they were able to get themselves out of these situations. And you can see that in Diary of a Mad Black Woman because it's kind of a similar premise. She once she got reestablished in her faith, then she was able to kind of pick up the rest of the pieces of her life, including strengthening the bond with her family, strengthening the bond with even with the husband who was abusive. She still tried to stick around and strengthen the bond there, and it was her own inner strength that got her to say, "I want to get a divorce and I want to go be with somebody else who's going to treat me better."
Yeah.
Once it got to Hollywood and it became, I have to put on a show and make this more interesting so that I can um, justify these Hollywood budgets. I got to sell tickets, and I have to make make the movies more, give the movies more shock and awe factor. All the men became drug dealers and became abusive. All the women became prostitutes, except for the one guy who went to church that comes and saves the prostitute at the end of the movie, and then they get married and he shows her the way. Like, it just became a very different brand of movie. And I think the most detrimental part of it is that for white people who don't have a lot of experience with black people or black communities or black families, they'll sit and they'll look at these movies and they'll go, "Oh my God, is this what black people are like?" They're throwing their kids out the window or sending their kids to school with drugs in their book bag and making them sell drugs for them. Like, those things, granted, they might actually happen, but that is not the image that you want to project on a Hollywood screen, because that's not all of Black America. That's not, black people shouldn't be defined by the shit that you want to put in your movie just because you want to make a quick buck. And now you putting that shit on our jacket, you putting that stigma on us, and now we got to deal with the consequences of it while you building fucking $1 trillion studios in South Atlanta. I can't really speak to his business practices or anything like that, but I think that Monique has kind of been on like a media tour, and she's been talking about her interactions with Tyler Perry and how he kind of snaked her a little bit and cost her some money by telling people she was hard to work with, and she ended up losing out on a couple of movie deals and stuff like that. because he mentioned that about her. Um, outside of that, I haven't really heard a lot about how it is that he deals with people. I mean, I've heard that he's kind of an asshole, but when you run in a corporation that's that size, you got to have a little bit of a stern, kind of tough personality because you want perfection, you want to get things done, and you want things done the right way. Um,
Yeah.
my biggest concern with Tyler Perry is just that, if you're doing it for us, if you're doing it for our community, for this big cultural family that we have here, like you gotta figure out ways where you helping us heal. And I don't feel like his movies are, when it started, when it was the plays, it was helping us heal, because we were getting to laugh at some of the things that we were going through, and we got to laugh in church because that's what it was. It was church. There was scripture. There was singing. It was just church where we were also getting a show. Um, but it hasn't been that in a long time, and now it looked nasty. So I hope the best for him. I wish nothing but positivity for Tyler Perry. But I would really, really like to see him kind of be more of a positive factor in the community and not keep doing this bullshit that he been doing. And Mia Culpa
Yeah.
was fucking ass. So please rewrite these scripts and do something better with Kelly Rowland and stop making her look like that. Because she is a goddess. She is a queen. And to have her name coming up in some bullshit like Mia Culpa, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, let's shift topics for a second. TikTok. There is a lot of stories going around that TikTok is on the verge of being banned in the United States. Why? Like, what is so bad about TikTok and what it's done for the community?
Well, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and they fear that this Chinese company is going to sell all of um, Americans' data. Um, it's easy to build a profile on people based on their internet presence now. That's part of what my issues are with social media, because they figure out who you are. They can see your family. They can see your location from where you're posted from. They can see your daily habits. They can see what you like to eat. They can see what you like to drink. They know who you are from millions of miles away without you even having to tell them. And in this new age of, uh, us bringing on the brink of warfare, war don't look the same anymore. Wars are not being fought uh, on battlefields the way that they used to be. War is more of an intellectual thing now. It's AI and um, mainframes and databases and things like that, and that can be dangerous if there's a conflict that arises between the United States and China, and they have all of this profiled information on Chinese citizens that we don't have. Facebook is banned in China, from what I heard, um, for the same reason, because Zuckerberg is an American and they mine the data and they can keep it and access it whenever they want to, and they can sell it to who they want to. And so when China found that out, um, they banned Facebook. So it's kind of the same thing.
I mean, I can see that, but like TikTok has changed the world. TikTok has opened up the creativity that Vine used to have, and has opened up the whole community to this new way of viewing things and learning shit. Like, people say TikTok University, and it's true. You learn so much shit on TikTok. And it's not even like it's bad things that you learn. It's more so just like everyday uses of things that you didn't know you can use it that way. Like, oh, I didn't know I can do this, and I didn't know what the reasoning behind this is. And I mean, I don't see it as such a bad thing. I think it opens up and creates this platform for creativity and just really pushes people's name out there as far as they want to be pushed. I think that obviously with any sort of platform, it does have its negatives, because I think any platform out there that's social media related has its negative. But I really think it's dependent on the person and what the person wants to put out there. A lot of times there's people putting their whole fucking life out there, and it's like, is it necessary? I don't need to know that you can't shit and now you're drinking this tea that's making you shit. Like, I don't need to fucking know that. But I'm just saying, like, there's just so much shit that, you can really learn. And there's so many people out there that are using the platform for good. And obviously, there's people using it out there for bad with their bullshit financial advice that they want to be putting people in. Sign up for my seminar and this, and that, and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's really given that platform and that space for creativity. And if we're going to take away that platform, then either create a platform that we can utilize, or like, are we really a democracy at that point? If we want to touch on politics, are we really a free nation? Because now you're fucking controlling what apps we can use. Come on, like, what the fuck are we living in?
Like you said, TikTok has been a hub for information. But in warfare, World War III kick off today or tomorrow. Who's to say that the information that we're gonna find on there is gonna be accurate information? If it's owned by someone who, in war times, we are going to perceive as the enemy. I mean, let's keep it a buck. United States and China, it's been tension for a long time. Um, if we are, perceiving this person as the enemy, and they're in control of this hub where a lot of people are getting their information from, it would be very easy for them as a war tactic to go ahead and put a bunch of misinformation on there and be able to stir up a whole bunch of miscommunication by sending things to people in their algorithms that's designed just for them, based on the profiles that they've built on us, knowing how it is that we like things, or what it is that we like, or what's going to draw our attention. They can put a bunch of fake news stuff in there, and cause a lot of separation and cause a lot of chaos. And I think that the TikTok ban is really just preventative maintenance,
Okay.
for the country. I think that they're just really looking at it as, it's a possibility that this might happen. And so we just want to nip it before it even comes to that. Because, like you said, they can always create another TikTok. I mean, TikTok has been the biggest thing for maybe the last 3 or 4 years, but before that it was Vine. Before that it was Facebook. Before that it was MySpace. Like, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something new that comes and takes over from something old, that builds on it and creates those same platforms as whatever came before it. So this is just going to be an avenue for somebody else to create a talk tick or a tickety tockety, something that's similar, that has a similar name brand that people are going to be able to draw to and be able to still be able to do the same things, but just do it within certain parameters. And, as far as government control everything. They control everything that we eat. They control. I mean, it's not a democracy. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for pure democracy, go buy an island somewhere and run it. That's the only way you're gonna get whatever kind of government you're looking for.
Staying on the topic of politics for just a second, Trump, he's on his way to another potential victory.
I hope he wins.
Lord, I do too, because I am tired of the bullshit that we've been dealing with. And I am sorry. It's not about, listen, keep your racism shit to the side and put all the bullshit that he came out with and kind of initiated with the racism. But looking at everything that he did versus what we're going through now, the fucking president we got now is probably going to pass out and on stage and fucking croak at this point. Like, he doesn't, like, it's ridiculous. And Lord, I hope Trump wins at this point.
Yeah, I hope he wins, and it doesn't even have anything to do with politics. For years, y'all have been calling this man a rapist. Y'all been calling him, and there's evidence. He stole documents out the White House. He did this. He did that. He still ain't seen no jail time. He's still walking around completely free, and now he's about to be president again. Donald Trump is proof that the system is broken. So if him being president is going to be what it takes him being president again is going to be what it takes to get the system reworked and get things taken care of to a point where all of that shit that they want to talk is actually going to get backed up with something substantial, then I hope he fucking wins. I hope he fucking wins. And for the next 4 years, he makes all of those politicians' lives hell. I hope that's exactly what happens. I
Yeah,
hope he
I
spends the
mean,
next 4 years shitting on every politician's head that he can find.
yeah, let's definitely see what happens. But I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let's hope it actually does some good if that does happen to be the case. We'll see what happens though.
But back to the TikTok stuff. I saw a video on TikTok the other day where this lady is sitting in a car with her kid, and their family dog had just died, and the little kid is sitting in the car with his mom, crying about the dog being dead, and she's coaching him on how to cry on camera so that they can get more views. She's like, no, no, look this way when you're crying, and then wipe your eyes a little bit so that they can see that you're crying. He's like, but mom, I'm really sad. And she's like, yeah, no, I know, honey, but look in the camera and cry this way. Do it like this. And I thought that was, I it brought a question to me where you see a lot of these sad stories that are on TikTok where people are saying, oh, me and my kids were starving, and they're showing the kids on video sitting crying because they don't have any food. Or I saw one video where this lady was saying that her husband was abusive, and so she's showing videos of her and her kids where she's hugging them and saying, oh, these are my kids, I have to protect them from this abusive husband. But to me, is that really like, is it necessary to put the kids in the videos for you to garner support for those kinds of things? Or is that exploitation? Are you exploiting your kids to get support? Or are you just genuinely looking for support from the people around you and the kids are a necessary part of it?
I think it goes back to the whole thing that I was saying, right? The negative uses of what we have. It's blatant exploitation. Like, these people are doing things of that nature to go ahead and try to get TikTok famous or try to get the fame in some level. And I've witnessed situations like that as well. And they're looking for the payday out of it. The higher the view count, the more potential possibility of a sponsorship from a major corporation or a major company trying to put their brand out there to then go ahead and get the marketing aspect of it, where now they're pushing a product and they're getting commission based off of the product sales. And it just creates this whole ripple effect, and now they're TikTok famous and they're gonna be living this lifestyle where they're rich and don't give a shit about what happened, and now their kids are probably out there somewhere doing drugs and hugging and kissing hookers on the lips because their parents don't give a shit about them anymore. And let's just be real, it's like going to McDonald's for a salad. Like, who the fuck goes to McDonald's for a salad? It's just the world. It's the world that people that want to use that platform for the negative are kind of generating and creating. They're gonna always look for a scheme out of it. Look at the freaking when we went through COVID and all the PPP schemes that came out of that shit. Like, it's people gonna always look for a payday somewhere somehow, and the issue with it is that they're gonna succeed, and then the next person comes and they do it, and they like, oh, but this person did it and they fucking fail, and now they're doing federal time. But I mean, it's the sad world we live in, and if a parent is out there exploiting their children for fame and for a payday, then they shouldn't have been a parent in the first place, and they don't deserve to have children, quite honestly. And I know it sounds harsh, and I know it sounds fucked up, but let's be real. Like, you have kids to create a legacy for yourself and your family. You don't have kids to go ahead and get a fucking payday. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that do it for the fucking payday, and it's just fucking disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I think that that's the downside to the social to TikTok specifically. I mean, it's created a lot of avenues for people to make money outside of 9 to 5s. That's the one thing that we got from COVID that people don't want to do the 9 to 5 shit anymore. And so now it's like I'm a hustle, and I mean we from New York, we know a hustle when we see a hustle. You know, we some of them hustlers, some of them scammers grew up right in our backyard. So it's like we know a scam when we see a scam, but now the whole world is on that type of timing. Now the whole world is trying to get a quick buck, and nobody really wants to do the 9 to 5 thing anymore. And there are so many different avenues now for making money that, every now and then you're going to see one of them schemes and it's going to hit and you're going to, jackpot. But then everybody comes along trying to duplicate that. And we just lose a lot in the process. It's just humanity it's really the end of the world. I can't imagine that humanity got too much time left here.
Yeah. Shout out to the scammers we grew up with.
Shout out to the scammers that we grew up with.
Shout out to our Harlem days too, man.
Get it where you can get it from. Shout out to Harlem.
Yeah. Jumping topics. Sports, man. NFL free agency started.
Yeah, bro. Russell Wilson is going to the Steelers.
How the fuck did that happen?
I don't know. I mean, the Broncos, they cut him. They still owed him $80+ million. He getting paid, but he gonna go to the Steelers, and I think that the Steelers are gonna be just what he needs. Actually, he's got a coach, Mike Tomlin. I do like to see Russell Wilson getting another chance so quickly, because I thought after the Broncos let him go, he was gonna be done.
Yeah, man. I mean, but Philadelphia's making moves,
bro.
Philadelphia is building a squad,
bro.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, I don't even know. Philadelphia this season is gonna be a problem, and Philadelphia has been a bit of a problem for the last couple of years. But I think this upcoming season is gonna be a massive fucking problem, and Philadelphia is gonna be that team to watch for because they are stacked.
Yeah, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to win an MVP this year. I think that he's shown the development, he's shown the growth, and I think this is the year that he's really going to have like a massive breakout season and win his MVP this year. Derrick Henry went to the Ravens. I mean, they're going to be pretty stacked this year. Kirk Cousins went to Atlanta. Which Atlanta, they got a lot of good wide receivers. They just needed like an actual quarterback, somebody who can make the right throws. So Atlanta might be pretty decent this year too. Finally, because the Falcons haven't had a good season since they got to the Super Bowl. I think this upcoming year in the NFL is going to be great to watch. The games are going to be exciting.
I can't wait. And I just hope somebody comes and knocks down fucking stupid-ass Kansas City Chiefs, who I can't stand at this point.
I always root for dynasties, because when you win as much as you can. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I hope they win as much as they possibly can.
I'm sorry. I can't stand Kelsey. I can't
really?
Stand him. I can't stand him.
Why?
I can't stand the person he's become. With all this, like, he thinks that his shit don't stink. He's a great player, I'll give it to him, but he acts like his shit don't stink. Why? Because you're banging no ass, flat ass, straight back Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is a catch though, bro.
Okay.
Taylor Swift moves the needle. She's
not much. She is the needle.
She's the big
shaped like it too.
She's the biggest superstar in the world, outside of probably Beyonce.
No, okay.
And they neck and neck.
No, she is. Listen. You give flowers where flowers are due. I said this last episode. I give her all the credit that she deserves. But this man is just, I just can't deal with him. When he starts talking, the ignorance that comes out his fucking mouth sometimes too, I'm just like, why the fuck they give this man a platform? Why?
Yeah, his brother retired.
And I'm sure he regrets it now. Because he should have just stood on the freaking Eagles for one more season and probably won a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, they might win it all this year.
They
They
might.
they
They
looking
very well might.
good.
They
The
might.
squad is, they tough. It's going to be an interesting season. I hate to see that the Dolphins lost so much this offseason. Like
I mean,
they lost a lot of their defensive line. They lost a lot of their O line. Um, they let a lot of pieces walk away.
it was inevitable though, because the Dolphins can't really afford what they had on their team, and they were just fortunate enough to have all of that. Um, but then the culture that they were building over there too. That coach is just a freaking loose cannon of a freaking
Mm.
coach. He is just like, come on. There was one game last year he was in the stands having fans pick plays to call. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, you're just running up to random ass people in the stands and say, pick the next play because we're up by 50. Pick the next play. Come on, it's on you. Like, come on, really? Come
That's
on.
crazy.
That whole culture out there is just in Miami was just ridiculous. It was a major turnaround because they definitely needed the turnaround.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they built it. They built it back up from being complete trash for a while.
To
But
being better.
nobody in the NFL has more poisonous culture than the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh man, come on. I mean, we're talking about Dallas here. Dallas is always going to be that team that is just loved by a few people, and then those few people turn their backs on Dallas halfway through the season because they know that they're trash and that Dak Prescott is just a fucking he's just way too trash to be spoken about as highly as he is.
Their fans are delusional.
They think they're going to win every year. They think they're going to win every game, every year. But I mean, I'm curious to see what the Jets do this season. Aaron Rodgers healthy, bouncing back. I just hope that our O-line can go ahead and protect him enough to get him through the full season. And I think we made one move that will be beneficial for that O-line. I just think we need to get rid of freaking Hackett as an offensive coach because he's trash. But I mean, let's see what the Jets do. I know last season Cobb was ass, Lazard was more ass, Dalvin Cook was ass, and we expected them to all be star caliber players. But at the same time, we also have to understand that they went through their entire preseason and they went through their entire offseason training with Aaron Rodgers as their QB, and then you threw out child Zach Wilson, who has no solid football mentality out there to call plays for them and wasn't giving touches to who deserved touches. And I think at one point Garrett Wilson was even frustrated with the amount of catches that he was getting, and Lazard wasn't even able to hold the ball, and Cobb was out for 3 games because they sat him because he sucked so bad. So I think with Aaron Rodgers out there and him having a solid football IQ, I think that we can at least make the wild card game this year. I don't think we'll go all the way because I'm just a realist. I love the Jets, and I would love to say that the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl, but we're not going to go all the way because we don't have the pieces to go all the way. We have the heart, but we don't have the pieces. But I'd like to see what happens this season with Aaron Rodgers on the field. I think it's going to be a welcoming change.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to see Aaron Rodgers back on the football field and not being injured. It was his ACL that he tore.
Tore his ACL, was supposed to be out the entire season and was already ready to come back by game 13 or week 13, something like that.
I just hope that he comes back and doesn't try to do too much and overexert himself. I would like to see him just kind of find a pace for the first few weeks of the year and then kind of build up over time and, just as like, we don't have to do anything too crazy.
Yeah,
just,
100%.
Take your time. But shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I can't wait to see him in a Jets jersey.
Me neither. Can't wait. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. I'm excited for this upcoming football season.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Excited for the NBA playoffs too soon, hopefully.
Well, I mean, everybody's getting hurt. Kawhi Leonard is down again, which is that is a blow to the Clippers. Karl Anthony Towns is hurt. Rudy Gobert walked off court the other day. Braun is nursing some injuries. I mean, it's the end of the year, so everybody is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of players that's not playing. And it definitely kind of reshapes the playoff picture if people are going to miss games long term.
And I think that this is great for the Knicks because if once we start coming back with our players and our players start getting healthy, I think we can make a solid run now with all these players going down. And of course,
Bias as hell.
I don't give a fuck. Listen, I'm a Knicks fan, true and die hard, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I like to see the Knicks do something this year. Let's see what happens. But
They're going to flame out in the conference finals.
yeah, I know. But we got to hold out hope until I have some sort of hope.
You think they built? How many games do you think the Knicks go with Milwaukee if they meet in the playoffs?
Oh no, they're not. They're going maybe 5, 6 at most.
With the Knicks beating Milwaukee?
No, I don't think we could beat Milwaukee though. If Milwaukee gets knocked out by somebody else, then great. But if the Knicks face Milwaukee, I don't know. I don't really feel confident that we could beat them.
What about Philly?
I mean, Philly, we can easily take Philly if we play solid defense. I think we proved it the other day. I mean, yes, granted, they have a lot of their players down, but we held them to 79 points?
Yeah.
With OG back, who re-aggravated his injury just a little bit.
But I would say with the Clippers, even with Paul George and James Harden still being healthy, Paul George is still option too. James Harden has been running that show as their point guard since he got there. He's been playing well. He's picked it up a little bit now that he's on a team that he actually gives a fuck about. James Harden is fucking. I respect his skill set. I think that James Harden is the 4th greatest shooting guard of all time. He just goes in and ruins a franchise. Like
Always.
once he stopped giving a fuck, like he'd just be like, all right, trade me. I'm gonna sit on the bench. I don't want to play. I don't want to interact with y'all. I'm gonna go to China and talk shit about the team president and trade me. Like that guy he's something else.
He is. But he's a good player at the end of the day when he actually is motivated to play. So
I think he's the 4th greatest shooting guard of all time, behind Jordan, Kobe, and Dwayne Wade.
Okay. I'll give you that. You wouldn't put Ray Allen in the conversation?
No. I think the way that Ray Allen kind of shaped his game towards the end of his career, because when he first came into the league, he was athletic, he was a high flyer, he was dunking on everybody. And the way he kind of shaped his game into being a pure shooter, coming off of screens and being able to kind of reinvent himself on the Celtics, I think that's important as a conversation, but he never carried a squad.
Okay.
He never carried a squad. He was always, able to ride somebody else's coattails.
About Allen Houston.
I love Allen Houston. I actually met Allen Houston one time. But I like Allen Houston, but I don't have Allen Houston probably even in the top 20 of shooting guards all time. I just think he had a real limited set of skills compared to other shooting guards in history. When you're looking at shooting guards, you're talking about some of the most top tier scorers, the elite players of the game of all time. And going back to like George Gervin and Alex English and more recently, like even like a Klay Thompson, I wouldn't put Allen Houston ahead of Klay Thompson all time. Ray Allen, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. Like I'm not putting Allen Houston ahead of any of them all time. But once you get through that first like top 20, maybe Allen Houston will fall somewhere between that 20 to 25, 20 to 30 range all-time shooting guards.
Okay.
But I mean, dude had game. He could ball out. It's just shooting guard is a tough position to try and break into that top 5, top 10. But Allen Houston, he's one of the greats. He's one of the greats.
For sure.
Yeah, moving on from sports though. I saw an interesting kind of think piece on YouTube the other day that was talking about like secrets in relationships and things like that. Do you think that is there anything about your girl that that you necessarily wouldn't want to know, or anything that you kind of feel is like a good secret for her to have?
I think it depends on the person. I think depends on your outlook on life. I personally am an overthinker. I will tell anybody, and I will be honest with it. I'm an overthinker, and I'm very stubborn when it comes to situations. But as an overthinker, I think that less is more for me, because the more I know, the more it opens up my mind to generate these possibilities and these scenarios of what if situations that just have you sitting there overthinking. Um, it's different in every relationship, obviously, and with everybody in general. I think it really depends on the person and their relationship with their partner and the communication styles and all of this. But for me personally, I'm an overthinker. I think less is more. I think that would probably be the best route to go. Um, but that's just me. I mean, what are your takes on it?
I mean, I don't really have no secrets. I've been married for a little while now. We coming up on 3 years. Um, so my wife knows everything uh, regarding my past, and um, she knows where I kind of came from and where I've been. I was notoriously a hoe in my previous life, um, and she knows. Uh, we've had those conversations. We've kind of talked about everything leading up to um, me and her relationship, and so I've been able to kind of open up to her regarding like a lot of past stuff, past relationships, my mindset with those past relationships, um, previous heartbreaks, just kind of everything. Like we've had all of those conversations about not just my past relationships, but her past relationships. Um, I definitely think that there are some good secrets, because there's some things that I think I'm just not meant to know, or that I wouldn't want to know if it was. Um, I think with sharing things in relationships, it's kind of a tricky situation, because of course you want to know everything about your partner, because you want to be able to figure out how best you can suit them and how best they can suit you. Um,
It's about
but
understanding.
yeah, but at the same time, if you hear some shit that you can't unhear, that now changes the entire course of your relationship, now it's like, well, damn, this relationship might be over. Like, because what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
And let's
So,
promote healthy relationships, guys. Have conversations with your partners, and these conversations that you are having in confidence, do not use them in your next fucking argument. We are being open with you because we trust you and because we care. Do not use it against us. Let's promote healthy relationships. Let's throw all that toxicity back in the past and leave it there. Listen, women be fighting dirty. Dirty.
oh,
I love women, but they fight dirty.
they do. They fight dirty as fuck.
Listen, man, it's just I've had some shit said to me that's just like, what? But on that note, closing thoughts, random thoughts, CJ, anything on your mind randomly? I have a random thought, right? So let's take it back to English class for a second. Back in school, we learned about synonyms and antonyms, right? Synonyms being words that have a similar meaning, or whatever, right? What's a synonym for the word synonym, though?
A synonym for the word synonym?
Yeah. Does it have one? Does it exist? I mean,
You always want to
yeah.
do this bullshit. You always want to start making me think about shit that I'm never supposed to be thinking about anywhere else.
And on
Goddamn ketchup
that,
smoothies and all this other bullshit you want to. All right. All right. This fucking guy.
And on that note, this has been the Ant and CJ Show, episode 2. We will be back next week with another episode. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on IG, the Ant and CJ Show podcast. And we are out. Peace.